Yes, guys, this is the On The Bench podcast. Please like, subscribe and comment. We appreciate all the love you've been showing us over the past few seasons. And we just need you to keep showing that love because it really, 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 really helps. Like Man United need help. But yeah, please, like I said, like, subscribe and comment. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. Right, we're back with the On The Bench podcast, the UK's #1 football podcast, and I'm your host, Mr. J. Dan. It's been a sticky week. Right, I called it about September times. I said one of our managers are going to get sacked soon. I don't know whose it is, but it's one of ours, and Arteta's still there. And if I look to my left, he's gone.
And if you look to your right,
he's gone.
he's gone. You got 2 for 1 deal.
2 for 1 in the space of what, 3 days? 3 days, I think it is.
Got buy one get one free.
It's been hectic. I feel like Man United took the leap when Chelsea said, you know what we're doing it. Man United just said, all right, we're gonna follow Chelsea. But are you happy with this one? We're gonna start with you because Maresca went first. Are you happy? Oh wait, I didn't even introduce you guys. And to my right, we got Mr. Chelsea man,
Yes.
AKA Rewind, Sugar Sean.
Yes.
How you doing, brother?
No, I'm good.
To my left, got Mr. Talk to Frank. He's happy. All right.
We're past
No,
Christmas
am I?
now. No, we're not Mr. Grinch.
No more Grinching.
No more Grinching.
He's cool. All right.
Put it aside for another year.
Right, sorry guys, I didn't introduce them. Right, cool. How do you feel, man? Are you happy about Maresca leaving?
I'm not really fussed with the sacking of Maresca. It's just them employing another manager that's probably as inexperienced as what Maresca was. Worst percentage-wise win success rate, whatever you talk about CV behind him, just doesn't make sense. And I just feel like it's just another ever-ending cycle, which I've been saying, of managers being brought in to just facilitate the model for as long as possible until they get frustrated themselves and ask for demands that they know they need to be able to challenge for a title, because the team has to progress somehow and it needs to find a way of being able to challenge for a title, because going from 5th to 4th isn't really a step up, or 4th to 3rd isn't really a step up. 3rd to 2nd ain't really a step up. Obviously, steady progression over years, obviously, yeah, but in terms of wanting to win things, it doesn't matter. So with the management and stuff like that, the whole protest now that's been organised, these are things that I've been saying to people for ages. I've been telling them how the club's run poorly and that the ownership is ruining the club in the model, and that the main focus on the model in that the fact that it took only 3 or 4 games now, again, this time of the year, like last year, when they wanted to do a protest. The protest was crap. Didn't have the real messages put across of why people are frustrated. And then even now, this past week online, seeing the manifesto of the protest and stuff like that, the 4 main points that they've got down, it is correct. But then you've still got the aggregators of a lot of the fan base that are the main, like you're talking about Chelsea Fan TV. You need to be representing the club properly. You need to have the fans on that, not just there for entertainment, but for actually spreading the real news about what the issues are at the club. And it's a responsibility. It's a responsibility of the fans that are actually have got followers and
voice.
Influence and have got a voice to actually put across the message that what most fans are frustrated with. And the problem is that a lot of the fans have their own different agendas. Like some people that were heavily invested into the youth and thinking that they've got potential to be able to go on and challenge for a title, they were against the manager. And then you've got the other side of the people, them that know that the youngsters aren't capable of probably winning the league. The project is too long of a thing to even gamble with, to want to be a club like Chelsea and spend the money that they are that they have. Like they're the ones that are angry at the ownership. They're angry at the sporting directors. But you can't be angry at the sporting directors when they're told to do their stuff from the ownership. Like if they're capped and they're capped at the players that they can buy at the age gap, the age bracket and the wage bracket, you can only ever moan at the managers. And I've been saying this, so you can only have a go at the owners. So I've been saying this. So it's like I'm now at the stage where let's see what happens on the 17th against Brentford with the protest. Let's see if they even acknowledge it. Like they're talking about all the methods of ways of how this is going to be effective. How do you hurt the owners and get them to change the model? And the only way about that is by boycotting going to the ground. That people are saying about go and tap your ticket and then don't go into the ground. That doesn't make no.
it's
That's
still-
just dumb.
yeah, still,
That's
yeah.
just dumb anyway.
Yeah.
Just why don't you just don't go to the game? Like if people didn't go to the game, you'd have no revenue coming in on match days. Obviously, the season ticket holders that have already bought their tickets. Obviously, you're taking a cash loss of not actually going to experience and support your team. But I feel like that's what the ownership are happy with. They know that it's like they're workers that need the money. Like you've got your people that are the supporters that are going to the games, and you know that they're turning up every week anyway. So they're still feeding your pockets. They're still gonna buy drinks at the bar. Like
So there's never gonna be no change.
yeah, because like what they know that you're gonna turn up. It's like the same thing with the protest. The protest is on a normal day. It's on a match day. So you're going to have people outside the ground protesting about the club, but they're still going to go into the club anyway and go and watch the game. So you're just enabling what the ownership is doing. And a lot of the influencers that I've been seeing, they're supporting Rosenior. They're saying that they're going to get behind the manager. You're just enabling. You're enabling
you
the
know what, Sean?
ownership's model.
To be fair, that's difficult because it's not Liam Rosenior's fault. Do you know
Yeah,
what I
it's
mean?
not. But I'm not. I got nothing personal against Liam Rosenior.
Yeah.
But he has been given the job with no experience, less of experience than what Maresca was given. Maresca actually done something to the level of what you'd probably have. It was probably the most we could have won,
Literally,
given the circumstances.
Yeah.
So he'd done that, but we still even had our question marks about Maresca. So Chelsea fans just need to boo everything that is going on at the ground. So when they're there, boo. Like they went to City, and I'm speaking to even some of the boys that go to the away games, and they're like, "Oh, it was one of the best away days in a long time." Why are you going there and supporting? I know what it means, like you support your team no matter what, but the ownership is running the club into the ground, and the expectations of the fans, it's got to match what they've laid out. Like if my team was Aston Villa, if my team was Newcastle, I wouldn't have to think we're entitled to win a league. I'd say we are where we are. We've spent what we've spent. We're probably overachieving because we're ahead of other teams that have got more money than us, spent more than us. So I'm just doing it based on the fact of what I'm expecting to see from the investment put forward. I'm not acting like a sport brat. I'm literally just asking to be challenging.
I feel like Chelsea's back to who Chelsea should be.
Why?
Because this is who Chelsea is. So before Abramovich came in...
But we were challenging.
No.
Yes, we did. We were second.
Before Abramovich...
We finished second behind you lot.
Forget about that. Before Abramovich...
The unbeatables.
All this winning Champions League, I think it's a reality check now.
No.
I feel like you lot are back to reality. And Chelsea's back to where you are.
Now,
this is Chelsea.
Jayden, that's just...
I'm telling you.
Yeah, but
this
do
is
you know what?
Chelsea.
He's not completely wrong, bro.
Of course
He's
he
not
is.
completely
Of
wrong.
course he is.
Yeah, but hold
when
on.
Abramovich come in, it went...
You hadn't won a
the
league
level
title
went
for
up to
50
this.
years before Roman came
Ken
in.
Bates brought the club for £1. He brought us into the... Bro, he sold us for £1. Like, Matthew Harding was building something towards this team. He was building us in the direction. We won a Super Cup without money. We won a Super Cup. We beat Real Madrid with Gianfranco Zola and these boys before Roman come in. We like that whole Bosman ruling that I told you about before about getting in the international players. We were ahead of the curve, so we were ahead of the curve of just like we were ahead of the curve with signing these contracts of 9 years for these players to spread our money about, so we can increase.
Yeah,
our
but
spending.
Sean, realistically,
but
how close were you to winning the league title? You won
were
the
second.
Prem. Yeah, but how many points behind were you?
Doesn't
did you
matter,
finish?
we were
Nah,
second.
come on. That's like Ollie saying.
Okay, where were you?
Second, we were challenging.
Yeah,
City.
exactly.
Third that season.
Who was
we
Chelsea?
Third that season.
You're just saying who was Chelsea.
No, but he's talking about before Abramovich.
Yeah, exactly.
but if
Before
you're-
Abramovich changed the whole culture of Chelsea Football Club.
Yeah, but we were already on course of developing. You got to remember, where are we in England? Where are we in London? We're in a very expensive part of London. The development and the investment was always going to come into the club. Matthew Harding was doing a great job with the team. We were, like I just said to you, we were ahead of the curve of certain things. We signed European players. We were starting to challenge for the league. We were putting ourselves up there with
Why
no
did
money
Abramovich
like
buy
that.
Chelsea?
'Cause
Because
he
you were
wanted-
about to go. You about to go under, weren't you?
No, but like Roman came in just to invest into the team.
Yeah,
like,
but the reason why that was possible was because you were about to go under. You were in big financial trouble.
we
you
were in a bit of a financial issue, but I don't feel like it was something to
Nah,
go
it
under.
was Sean,
But
you're downplaying it. It was a big deal, bro.
It
was a
weren't.
big deal, and this is why Abramovich came in and bought the club because
Nah, it weren't.
he saw an opening. That's why he bought the club because you guys were in big financial trouble. So obviously, if it wasn't for Roman, we don't know where you'd have been. We don't know where you'd have been because it's Liverpool had a similar story with John. Was it John Henry, whatever his name was? They were in financial trouble. They almost went under until FSG bought them.
What entitles someone to be where they are? Because Man United bought the league for many years. Man United were the biggest spenders since the Premier League started.
But that money came from Manchester United building a foundation and building
were you not building a foundation?
dynasty. No, with youth players. Hold on,
Yeah,
one second. With a class of 92, yes, we bought a couple of players here and there. Yeah, absolutely. But even in the grand scheme of things at the time, we were competing with teams like Blackburn. We were competing with teams like Newcastle, who were also spending money, by the way.
Where did Sir Alex finish in his first season?
Was it 11th, 12th?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You lot weren't entitled to
but
be
that was
anywhere
his
near
first
it.
season. He just come into the
You
job.
were 11th. We was under Ranieri. We finished second. That's chalk and cheese. Chelsea are where they are. We are where we are. We've got our money. We've been invested into the club. We've built the team to the size that we are now. Hence why we don't deserve to go under and deserve to go back to where we were. Because, like I said, investment into the club is supposed to be a reflection of how successful you are. If you invest into something, you're supposed to be successful. That's all I'm asking and holding my standards to for this club. So for that to happen, I need my ownership to run the club
I agree with you on that.
in the right model.
Yeah,
so
I agree with you on that.
I'm just on that board now where I don't really care about results. I don't care about the game. I don't care about if we score. I had a £200 bet against my team
That's mental.
to win like $2,500. Like I'd rather make money than support this team at the moment, knowing that my club is not being run correctly.
You see what ownership does to a club? You see what I've been banging on about for a long time? This is what it does. And this is what I've been feeling. So I completely agree with you on that.
I've been telling you the same.
But then Arsenal
circumstance.
fans was complaining about the Cronkies though.
Yeah, but
But then wait, we was complaining and get them out. The big protests. We've done the same thing. We got out Wenger, and we finally found our way. So is it really the owners?
yes,
How
it
long
is
did
the
you get
owners.
away with Wenger?
Yeah.
Huh?
How long did you get Wenger out of the club?
4 years, 3 years?
For 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
It's been 4 years.
No, since he's been
Since
gone.
he's been gone.
Yeah.
It's 8 years, isn't it?
It's been a long time.
8, 9 years.
So,
Yeah, but it is the owners because something changed. This is what I spoke to Marty about last time. From what I look, you know your club better than I do, but from what I understand, Kroenke's son took more of a hold on the club. So let's say, for example, Man United fans, we despise the Glazers, right?
Why though?
Where'd you start?
No,
How long do you want?
What do you want from them? This one, tell me what you want from your owners. So I can
you
understand.
need, like Sean's saying, you need to invest properly.
You've
right?
invested.
Okay, we invested the money that we make, we generate.
You've bought players
And one
for
second,
days. I'm
one
not
second,
hearing
one
that. Yeah,
second.
go on.
No. If you're investing the money that you're making, you're not putting money into the club. Jim Ratcliffe has been there for what, year and a half, 2 years. He's already put more money into the club than the Glazers have in 20 odd years, 25 years, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So, or 20 years. So what I'm saying is, yes, they're investing, but they're only investing in things that make them money. They're not investing in the club. They're not
but what do
investing
you
in
want
the
them- what do you want them to
training
invest in?
ground
Yeah.
facilities. Like I said, that's been fixed. Ineos come in and done that straight away.
yeah.
Old Trafford, we know, is an old aging stadium. We all know that. They give it a lick of paint every other summer and say that'll do. No,
Yeah.
we've fallen behind other clubs. There's clubs in the Championship who've got better, up until now, have had better training facilities than we have. I've told you this before. Manchester United is a foundation, is a football club built on their youth and their academy. They are under 20, was it under 23s or under 21s a few years ago? They got relegated because these ain't invested in the academy. You understand? So and that's just me picking out certain things off the top of my head. There's a lot more. This is a club that not only have they not invested, they've neglected things. They've let things go. You can do what you want. Let the culture. They don't care. As long as, look, the best example I can give you of the Glazers is if you give them an envelope and you give them this envelope and this one says you win the Premier League, all right, but you make 50 million. This one says you finish 4th, but you win 100 million. I can guarantee you they're taking this envelope above this one. That's the difference.
So
now, when you've got...
No joke.
Yeah, but
I wanted you out.
What I'm saying is, as football fans, to us, success.
You want to win?
is,
No, you want to win
right,
100%.
That's what we base success on.
But they're business people, though.
Okay, you ask a West Ham fan right now. And a fan, by the way. What is your view of success right now? They say staying up in the Premier League. You ask Arsenal fans, what is your view of success right now? You say winning the Premier League. Do you know what their view of success is? How much money have we made? That's the difference. Now, I get, and this is why I understand what he's saying, what Sean's saying, because Chelsea are becoming a business now. And you don't want, as fans, we don't care about the business. We're fans. We're the reason why you lot are making money.
This is the way football is now, though. It's all
to a
about
degree,
business
yeah,
and
Jay,
money
to a degree, but you can balance it.
What is the number of what United have spent? Because obviously you are the biggest club in the country, generating money-wise. But have you
What net spend?
I'd say over the last 10 years.
Well over a bill. Well over
So
a bill.
you've spent over $1 billion.
Well over a
Players
billion.
you're talking.
Yeah, well over a
like
bill.
in terms of players,
Yeah.
because
But-
I'm a bit more disappointed in the way that United have been run, because I feel like there wasn't an age cap. There wasn't an age cap on who you could buy, so you could literally have
Just
signed
spent
who
$1 billion.
you wanted to. Yeah, so
1.4 billion.
1.4 billion pounds is I find that more of an embarrassment. But I'm saying United have been put in that kind of stage for such a long period now, where they're actually just accepting of the fact of where they are and how they've been run.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I see that. I'd like look at how Chelsea fans are right now, and this is after 2-3 years, and they're going absolutely ballistic. As United fans, they should have been going ballistic a long time ago.
But sure,
It's
they have
been
been
too long.
They've
You
been
lot have had 10
protesting.
managers in
Yeah,
the
but
last...
what
They broke
protest?
in during COVID during Old Trafford, and it stopped the game from playing. What do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but-
if that's not
but,
going ballistic,
that's fair enough. But I'm saying, I just see it as like, what has kept you lot from signing quality signings? Like, United is probably the biggest club in the country. Like I said, you ain't got no age cap or no wage cap. So,
do you know what? Do you know what?
The Zlatans, the Di Marias, the Memphis Depays, all of them kind of stages where when you got Fergie out and then you had to start signing the new players, and then Fellaini and these kind of guys were coming in.
Who signed Pogba?
Mourinho.
Re-signed Pogba, yeah,
Mourinho.
Jose, yeah.
Mourinho.
But it's all of them big signings. They weren't. They were on big wages. They were experienced players that had won things. Even up to this day, and Casemiro's in the squad, they've tried to sign players that are experienced that have won things. I find it embarrassing in terms of the recruitment that Man United have had
100%.
over the
I
last
agree
10
with you.
years.
I
Frank, because
completely agree with you.
We've got a cap to where we can buy players. You lot haven't had a cap, and that's why I'm like, I'm fuming as a Chelsea fan. If I'm the biggest club in the country with the biggest expenditure based on how much we generate as a club, I'd be fuming if I was a United fan.
Can I answer that?
Let me ask you one question as well. Do you think United was buying these players for shirt sales?
Of course they
Because
were.
there's more.
Of course they
Yeah,
were.
Obviously,
It's
I know clubs do that anyway, but do you feel like where you said the Glazers are all about money, Zlatan is going to sell you
Zlatan, yeah.
loads of
but
shirts.
how much is it gonna-
Ronaldo's going to sell you
Yeah, but
loads
what's
of
the
shirts.
difference of? And you got to think to yourself, what
It's
are
the
you?
name, innit?
Yeah, I
Big
know, but
name,
I'm
yeah.
saying, what are you losing out on in terms of position-wise in the league and money winning a league or
Okay.
challenging for things to compensating for
Shirt
shirt
sales,
sales?
yeah.
Like,
Right.
I think it offsets itself.
To
pretty
answer your
similar.
question, first of all, Sean, the reason why Man United bought these players and didn't know what they were doing is because they had Ed Woodward, who's a banker in charge of transfers. And when I say in charge of transfers, I don't just mean the financial side, I mean the football side. Now, I can 1000% guarantee you the Glazers would never put a football person in charge of the financial side. I can guarantee you that. But they find it okay to put a financial person in charge of the football side. So this is why. So to answer your question, yes, it was about shirt sales. At the same time, he thinks he knows better. So he's sitting there trying to find the best players to buy. Anthony Martial, Mourinho said, I want rid of him. But Joel Glazer said, that's my favourite player. You can't get rid of him. So he stayed for another 3-4 years. This is true.
But
This
that's
is
down
true.
to your ownership.
Right.
But in terms of your sporting directors, and see, sporting directors who are in charge of recruitment and the people that are actually going out to make the financial, to make it happen. Can this be feasible? Can this work with this player? They need to be in a good relationship between each other. Whoever the sporting directors are and the financial people in charge, they need to have a good relationship to say, right, this person I really want as a priority. Is this capable of being able to be had? If not, this is my second option. Can this be happening? You should have like 2 or 3 options for every position.
Yep, I agree with you, Sean. But we weren't like that. We weren't run. We
Yeah,
weren't
but
run
that's
that
what
way.
I'm saying.
And like I said to you, our sporting director, as you say, was Ed Woodward. This guy's a banker. He's not a football guy.
And then we've got a sporting directors that are only seem to knowing of the players that come from Brighton.
Right. but this is what I'm saying. So when you've got a structure, you need to have everyone. Look, like I said to you before, I've said this to you before. Man City have been geared towards success.
Yeah.
When they remove someone, they replace someone that's with the same mindset or similar mindset, let's say. Because everything has got to be geared towards football decisions. Now, they might have a few duds, absolutely.
It will
but-
stem from Pep, though.
Yeah, of course it will stem from, especially the last decade, because that's how long he's been there. But he's got a philosophy, and they give him what he wants because they've got that philosophy. Now,
But
Pep didn't win a league in his-
that's what football should always be
Yeah,
about.
yeah, but-
Giving the managers what they want, because if they're the if
To
they
a
are
degree.
the bees, but it
To a
is though,
degree,
because
yeah.
managers change games.
Yeah.
Managers are the people who coach these players on a day-to-day basis.
They know what they
and
need.
their philosophy is what you're saying.
But the difference
is what makes you win on the pitch, not a stadium looking good.
But to be fair, Sean, there's not 4 or 5 Pep Guardiolas available in the world.
I know that.
There's only one.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you know,
got
I'm
one.
sure if we
Close.
listen, I'm not
There are good
I'm not
managers
entertaining
out there,
that.
though. There
There's
are good
good managers
managers
out there, but you've got to also then understand the argument of that is this is a Man United job. This ain't, with respect to Man City, this ain't Man City. Man City had no identity. They had nothing. They
Hence
had no
why
real
United should be able
recent
to.
history.
Hence why you should be able to attract top managers.
And we've attracted Louis van Gaal, who at the time was an elite manager. We attracted Jose Mourinho, who
lot have
was a top manager. 10
managers in the
Yes,
last
I know that.
13
And we've tried
years.
Oh,
different
you don't
things.
even want to go near to us.
Yeah.
What? How long you had me had?
Since you lot have had your managers under Wenger,
Yeah.
I think we've had like 17 or something like that.
17.
Check it. I'm pretty sure it's up there.
I thought you were going to say like 7 or 8.
They put the graphic up the other day of the managers that have
Including
been,
interims and everything, obviously.
obviously with interims, but it had the list of
Since
Unai.
when you saying since Wenger?
Yeah, since Wenger, because it was Arsene Wenger, Unai Emery, Arteta, and then it had just the whole list of the Chelsea.
Lumberg as well, yeah.
Lundberg.
Yeah, Lundberg was interim
Yeah,
for a
maybe
few
they
games,
never
yeah.
considered. Maybe they probably didn't even consider the interim managers. I'll be honest. They're probably looking at the normal managers, but that's all I'm saying is that the recruitment of the players have to stem from the managers and their philosophy of how they want to play, and that the people that are in charge of those scouting things, they need to work very closely to the people that are in charge of the finances.
Yep.
And then they can relay that back to the owners to let them say thumbs up. You can go ahead with that. That's cool. And that's what it is. That's what makes a club successful. But that's why I'm like, these are so obvious things, and that's why I'm so like, I'm mad. Like I've been running spaces every day.
7.
It's been loads more than that.
Conte 2018, Sarr 2018 to thing.
Sorry.
Sorry, Lampard, Tuchel, Potter, Lampard again, Poch, Maresca.
Callum McFarlane.
That's under more than like 7. But we had Bruno Salto and all of that in between. Maybe it was considered.
Maybe, but I don't know if it's got the interim.
Yeah, but just that in general, like it's just for me, like if Chelsea fans haven't woken up to what's happened for the last 3 to 4 years with Graham Potter, an inexperienced manager that was given a 6-year contract to try and make things happen.
Yep.
He was relieved of his duties because he weren't performing well. Then you brought in a manager who was Pochettino, had a little bit of standard, even though he come from Tottenham and Chelsea fans were like annoyed anyway. And he didn't really ever win anything as well. Like he's come in, he realised that further down the line, I want some players. He weren't getting it. He cut.
He also didn't want let certain players go, like Gallagher and Chalobah as
that's
well.
What I'm saying.
Yeah,
so like players that he wanted to come in that he didn't get, and players that he didn't want to leave, that left.
Yeah.
He left. Now you've got this guy come in, done probably all as much of what he could have done with what the circumstance he was put in with the Conference League and the Club World Cup. Won it, and then you've sacked him now as well because he's got to the stage where it's January. He's probably saying, right, I can do the presser stuff and say to people, yes, I believe in my players and we're going to work hard and we're going to grind hard. But he knows deep down when he's going to the training ground, these players ain't good enough.
You need upgrades, yeah.
My team's not good enough, and if you think that this team is good enough, you're deluded. And everyone's open to their opinions, but for me, it's very glaringly obvious that this team's not good enough to win a league title.
You lot had so much chance. You looked poor.
Nah, we didn't have loads of chances. We had a couple
Towards
chances.
second half, you was
Openings, yeah. Not I wouldn't say chances. Openings,
They had
yeah.
loads
yeah.
of openings.
Did you want to see Garnacho come on in the City?
I'm not fussed. They're all two arse of the same cheek. It's two cheeks of the same arse. Sorry, two arse of the same.
I feel like he would
Two
have been
cheeks
that
of the same arse.
explosive little player there. Like
He's a problem for City, by the way. He's been a problem for them over the last couple of years.
I just see it as the way that we set up there. We went there to act defensive. We sat back for most of the game, looked for our counter-attacking chances. The one time we actually did try to take advantage of anything was the overlapping chance towards the end of the game where we actually got the equaliser. Other than that, obviously we had that Neto chance that got cut back and went over, but that was more to the actual...
Esteval's chance in the first half as well.
Yeah, slight chance, but you could go through bundles of Erling Haaland chances and the Cherky cut inside and the Foden cut inside and the balls falling to people in the box. They had so many. But for me, it's what kind of defines the fact that I told you lot that Arsenal are going to win league anyway, because City, even as dominant as they were, still was able to concede against a Chelsea side that literally came there banged up with no players available and no manager. and they just weren't. They were toothless, and Arsenal are not this toothless, and they're relentless. As much as you might think that they're not performing well, and they haven't been the most they're not the most entertaining side to watch. They're not the Cities of the last 7-8 years. This team grinds out results.
Yeah.
They find ways to win. They're consistent. They don't give up the chances that what City give up
Let
on
alone
a
goals,
day-to-day
yeah.
basis. Let alone goals. The chances that they've taken, the shots on target at the start of the season. Obviously, the banter was that they could try and match Chelsea's clean sheet record. That's almost gone out the window. It's not even at game week 20, which was I found ridiculous when we was comparing anyway. Even though Jadon was a bit excited. Injuries. But yeah, it's just.
Why are you shaking it? It's injuries.
Injuries.
But you are the best team in the league,
most consistent,
very
absolutely,
clearly, and
yeah.
it's most this ain't the same Pep. This ain't the same motivated Pep with the same system.
City,
a different he hasn't tried to find a different system to work with the players that he's got there. And they're just not. I just don't see them as motivated. It doesn't click as what it used to.
And they've got a few defenders injured now as well.
Yeah, and Arsenal have built their side over the past 3-4 years, like we've known. To see that bench last week,
mental,
stacked. Eze, Saka, Lewis Skelly, Gabriel Jesus,
Norgard,
Havertz was back on the bench. It was just a stacked side that most of those players could probably start for a lot of the top 4 sides right now. And that's how strong their squad is at the moment. And even though players can go out, Hincapie's still going at left back, and he might not be the greatest of left backs, but he's doing a job. And it's the 7 out of 10 things that I say that are there to go and do a job when you might have to nick a result or grind out the result. And then when you've got your main 11, it's 9 out of 10. And then that's why I say to you, my team's like a 7 out of 10 throughout the whole squad, whether it's a starting 11 and the squad. United are like a 6 out of 10 squad, 6 out of 10 bench. Liverpool are a 7.5 out of 10 on a good day, and their squad's not really even there either. And the same thing goes for City. City they've got a good start on 11 when fit, but they ain't fit. And this is a Pep that's been there for so long. I just don't think the motivation's there.
Yeah. I know they're going to drop more points as well.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, 100%.
They absolutely will, yeah. I think Arsenal have got, I think it's a month or so, they've got quite a few games back-to-back as well, playing twice a week, 3 times a week. I think if you can get through this next 4-week period, I'll say, and you still got a decent points leading tap, which I think you will, I think the league will be yours.
People laughed. It's like this Colin McFarlane guy, he's manager. He wasn't even manager at Croydon. He was assistant manager at Croydon. And he's come and gone to the Etihad with that Chelsea side and got a point, which is crazy. Fair play to Reece James and that, and making him get an appreciation for the game.
Yeah, I like that.
I
like that.
Yeah, but
that's leadership, innit? That's what it's about.
But we don't have much of that in the team in terms of people that I feel like are at the club that love this club. I think Reece James is just about the only player that we have there that probably is proud
Sean,
to play.
It goes back to what you've been saying about your owners. This is what happens when you let players like Mason Mount go, Trevor Chalobah go,
They've ruined
Conor
our academy
Gallagher
just
go.
like you've been ruined for your academy.
Yeah, this is what happens, man. You lose the soul of your club. You lose what your club is about, because at the end of the day, if your club is not performing, you're not getting points, your managers aren't doing great, what do you have left? What do you have left? You need to have something. You need to have an identity. You need to have a soul about you. You need to have at least you have to have something. For example, Man United, records are slowly going for Man United. They just keep disappearing. We've got that record, that Old Trafford record, that haven't lost at Old Trafford for, when leading half time for ages. I wouldn't be surprised if that had gone this season. Yeah. We were Jack Fletcher on the subs bench away from losing our record of having an academy player in the first team squad since the 1930s.
Jesus.
That's almost a 100-year record. And Jack Fletcher, by the way, has not come through the Man United Academy. We got him from City when he was 15, 16. But he still counts as an academy product, so it's still, you know what I mean? So
we're losing our academy slowly as well.
It's sad to see, man.
We're not going to be as successful. Like I said, with this way that we run, buying all them youngsters abroad, bringing them into the under 23s, it's just messing around with our academy, man. It's just going to put people off of wanting to go to Chelsea.
That's right, at a younger age, yeah.
Yeah, because it's all down to the dads anyway, the dads and the mums. And they're like,
I feel like Arsenal's, we're still producing good players, but I feel like eventually, because they're not getting played. Like Waneri, for example, he come through the academy.
Success will come with the club, and then when teams are successful, people are drawn to success. So once you then start to become one of the best Premier League teams in the league, that's when kids will grow up and say, I want to be an Arsenal fan.
No,
and then I want to play for Arsenal.
I'm saying kids coming through our academies.
Yeah, of course.
I feel like soon they're not going to want it because they're not getting a chance.
You don't think?
Nah, Waneri, look, he's going to have to go. Skelly.
Yeah, but Bukayo Saka is your best player, arguably, in your team.
But
And
he can play in the 10, but he's not even getting minutes. And
Saka?
no, not Saka.
Wanyeri,
Yeah, I know.
Skelly's not getting no minutes as well. Like,
Max Diamond, or Max Diamond's really young, to be fair.
He's injured. He's injured.
Yeah,
He's
but
very
Lewis,
young anyway.
Lewis Skelly, all right, maybe not for Arsenal, but at least they're giving them a platform to at least play. Like Skelly played a season.
Injuries, though.
No, I know,
but
but
he's not getting no. We're playing a man who's not a left back in his where he dominated last season. So it's like, what's going on here?
I know, but at least you're giving them a platform. We don't look like we're giving anyone a platform, and nor does United.
Do
really.
you know what?
Well, United are giving Heaven a chance, but that's just because of the way that they are at the moment in terms of injuries and availability.
The other thing I'll say to counter what you're saying is sometimes how good are these players actually? That's another thing, because if you, as a manager and as coaches, you will see them obviously on a day-to-day. 100%. But, and don't get me wrong, we know that they're a very good level. Lewis Skelly had a really, really good season, breakout season last season, made the England squad. Wanyeri obviously showed potential, but showing potential isn't always enough. And at the end of the day, have they burst onto the scene and got you winners? And got you assists?
When you're expecting to win something at the highest level,
is what I'm saying,
obviously you need to have a bridge between it and how you can include them.
Exactly.
But that's what I'm saying to you. Having a whole season as a youngster is more than enough to platform him to even get a move in the Premier League. Because you've got to remember, what do parents want their kids to do? They want them to be able to go to a professional club,
that's right,
get given an opportunity, and then to make a career out of it.
That's right.
Being at a professional level, people are happy to be at a professional level at League Two.
I know. Wanyeri can go to a Fulham and get.
Yeah, like Smith Rowe,
and that's a big club.
It's a big club.
Very big club.
You're talking about 40,000 minimum pound a week to be able to get after you've left Arsenal to go to a Premier League club.
I don't think these English kids are that good,
Yeah.
I think that there's been a big improvement.
How many of them have actually blown up and become like, apart from like you got Bellingham, Saka.
Are you talking about now or are you talking about over the years?
No, but I'm saying like after them
Phil
guys.
Phil Foden's, Cole Palmer's.
Yeah.
But then after those guys, I'm not hearing me out.
It's like John Stones.
I can't lie to you.
No, then hear me out. After those guys, like the next
hole.
generation, like the Amari
What,
Hutchins.
the Mark Guehi's?
No, the Mark.
So now you're talking about these.
Yeah, like the Amari Hutchins. These are meant to be like superstar kids. The Amari Hutchins.
but we get
we're in a PR. Nah, Jada, we're in a PR year.
You see what I'm trying to say? Like, they're not as good as people think. I don't think. I don't think Wanyeri is as good as people think.
What we're in at the moment is we're in PR stages of hyping every kid possible that anybody's linked to. You're talking about 15-year-olds guys might get signed from a club and they're getting a Fabrizio Romano. Here we go. Like you're talking about that kind of stuff. So we're kind of just PRing. Someone's got to be. But if there's a stage that's there, they need someone to be put on there.
Yeah.
So you have to pick someone to go there. So whoever they've chosen to go there, that's what it is. Like you've had to pick someone. If he succeeds or he doesn't, there are loads of kids in England that are up to level. You got to remember, England's very multicultural now. So we've got a lot of mixtures of Africans, Caribbeans, South Americans. Everybody's here, and so many kids are brought up here now that they're going to be claimed as British, and they're going to have all the different aspects or strengths of attributes and stuff like that. They're all going to be blended into
technical ability, agility.
Yeah, but do you feel like
they're going to have everything?
Are they Arsenal, City?
Yeah.
That good, or are they
that's what
Crystal Palace? Look at Eze at Arsenal.
Who's that? Eze.
Look at Eze and Arsenal's nowhere near. If you watch him properly, he's nowhere near as he. Obviously, the system's different, but he's nowhere near Eze at Crystal Palace at all.
It's different.
Watch him.
Mate,
but if you're a good player, you adapt.
Would Steven Gerrard have been the Steven Gerrard if he was put into that Manchester City team?
Yeah, 100%.
You think he would?
Yeah, man.
Gerrard
is one of the best.
I'm not talking about this City team. I'm talking about City maybe like 3-4 years ago.
Gerrard. Anywhere Gerrard went, he'd have been. Gerrard was unbelievable.
I don't know.
That's a mad comparison.
It's like all right, Dimitri Payet from West Ham. Would he have done what he done at any of these clubs, these top 3-4 sides, if he was?
I think so. He's a baller.
He's a baller.
Yeah,
but
you're saying the same about Eze.
Giving the ball just to him, like he's your star player. Let's feed him at all costs. It's not the same when you go to a big club. You have to
look at Jack Grealish at Man City, man. It just never worked out. But do you know what? Touching on all of that, it's probably a good time to move on to Ruben Amorim, because one thing that he said, which I did actually agree with, remember he talked about the academy, and he said some players, they're just not ready. You might think they are, or you might think, and he started calling out some names, and he said, look where they're playing, look where they're going. So he obviously, Amorim done a lot wrong at United, which is why he's not there anymore as of today. But he did. I think he was spot on about that to a degree. I think I didn't like the way he said it, but I understand what he was saying. Like, you know, sometimes we hype these youths a bit too much. I mean, Kobe Mainoo, again, brilliant young player, 18, 19. I called, remember last, you know, when I said he's going to go to the Euros, I reckon, with England, and he played in the final in the end. But obviously, he's not been getting minutes, and I think he should be getting minutes. But at the same time, is he at the level of a Jude Bellingham? No. I know Jude Bellingham was a couple of years older, but is he at that level? No, he's not. So I think sometimes we've got to be very, very careful with these youngsters, how you blood them in, how you introduce them gradually. But that being said, with players like Lewis Skelly and Ranieri, if they're not getting into the team by maybe early next year, they might need to move on.
But that just shows you the fact that if they can't get in there, your team is successful.
Yes, I agree with that.
Your team is doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Because you shouldn't have to rely on these youngsters. You should be blooding them in, yeah.
But if they are good enough to play for one of the biggest sides in the world, you're talking about Arsenal, probably one of the best sides in the world.
At the moment, yeah.
So it's no shame in not being able to play for the best team in the world if you're not up to that standard.
Yeah.
It just shows you the standard of where your club is at. And
that's right.
I'm more happy about the club than an individual youth player, because at the end of the day, unless it's my son, I'm not going to care as much. But it's dependent on whether you're a family member of that person, and that's a different.
I like seeing. I kind of like seeing the youths come through.
Of course, it is. But you've got
dominate.
You've had Bukayo Saka, Jay.
But you know when they've been hyped up, like one area, and he was like another Nketiah.
Yeah, but that's because of the hype. Because you knew
and
Saka
you're thinking,
weren't
all right, cool. Huh?
It's because you knew Saka weren't as hyped as what Nwaneri was.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
but it doesn't
It's
matter,
he's starting
bro.
off as
You
a
don't
left
need
back.
the hype.
That's
You
why.
don't need the hype, Jay. As long as you've got something you could be proud of to say, he's one of our best players and we made him. That's all you need to be grateful for.
That's true. Amorim. Wait, actually, I need to just touch on your new manager quickly before we move on.
Liam Rosenior.
What's the latest on him? What do you know about his? What should we expect? Should I say from?
I'm not necessarily a lover of watching Strasbourg, so I don't know what he's coming with. So I can't act like as if I know what he's coming with. But they're 7th in the league in France. They're inconsistent. He's got a 47% win rate with Strasbourg. Is that good in France? I don't know, because it's a one-team league for me over there. So. And the fact that we're feeding Strasbourg a lot of our talents, I'd expect our talents to probably be able to compete with the top 5-6 sides in France anyway. So it's just him as a manager. He was at Brighton, funny enough, coaching just before he retired at the end of his days of playing for Brighton.
So
he became a
connection.
There's always a connection to Brighton. So just I don't know, man. He looks like a very big passion merchant in the changing rooms if things ain't going right, but. Does that mean that we're going to play sexy football on the training ground and transition that onto the pitch? I don't think so. But
do you think he's a yes man, Sean? Do you think that's what they wanted?
This is the biggest job he's ever been given. Who's going to turn down this job? And that's why I'm saying you have to boo Chelsea at all costs. I'm not booing Liam Rosenior personally, but he's been put in place and he fits the model for what I'm arguing against. He is the product of the model, and I'm not happy with that model. So I'm protesting against everything to do with this club's model because it's not being done properly.
Fair enough.
Is he in for this game coming or Saturday? No.
No, I think
there's no game Saturday. It's 2 weeks.
Yeah, but I think McFarlane is still going to be in place of the next game. Whether it's the next league game, I think he'll be in charge for then 17th.
17th. Yeah.
That's when we're playing Brentford, I think. So that might be.
Is that at home? Is it?
And it just is so evident of what they've done as well. Because did you not see how they in the midweek they said that Chelsea are not seeing the Carabao Cup as a priority and they don't care about it. They put that out in Sky Sports mainstream news, made it very clear last week.
Yeah, because you're going to lose.
Because we're going to lose anyway, I think they know it anyway. But if you look at the run of games that Chelsea have got in the Premier League, next 5.
Yeah, who you got this
we've
week?
got Fulham.
You got Fulham, yeah.
We've got Wolves. We've got Burnley. We've got some really crap teams in Brentford.
Crystal Palace,
but we've got
winnable games.
We've got a good 5 or 6 winnable games, so that if it goes like West Ham, so that if it goes well,
the PR machine will get going.
The PR machine's there for Liam Rosenior, and it's biding even more time for the model to be like we're back on course with a new manager. Let's back this new manager. They're feeding the fans
do you know
hopeless dreams.
To be fair, Sean, I said ages ago, at what point does it click at Chelsea? Like, what? I know that you've backed this anyway.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm not. I'm
no,
not telling you anything you
100%,
don't
I know.
know. But I said, it's all good and well. You're buying all these young players, Garnacho, Gittins, Quenda, whoever, Esteval. But then, at what point do you then take the next step up? What's the next step up? What does it look like? Is it buying a world-class striker? Is it going for someone like random name Osimhen? Is it going for, obviously you've got a world-class midfielder in my opinion in Caicedo, but do you then go after a world-class centre-back potentially? Do you have to go after a world-class goalkeeper to try and get your spine sorted so that you can actually compete? I don't see that from Chelsea. Like you're saying, I don't see
Was
that.
Sanchez injured on the weekend?
Possibly, because if he went in the squad, he probably wasn't. But it's like, even to the fact that even if the model was changed, are the sporting directors even good enough? Like, that's what I'm trying to say. It was all question marks about what's done, who was there at the base level. We don't know if Maresca was really good enough because he weren't really given the tools to be able to challenge for a title. Is the sporting directors really good enough because they weren't given the ability to buy older players? But then when you're looking at the players that are available, that are out there, a lot of them do come under 25.
Yeah.
And a lot of them probably we could have acquired for less than the money than what is actually on our cap of what we have. We're giving out £100,000 a week. I'm pretty sure we could have nicked players like, how old Zubimendi?
26.
Okay, so but players of that kind of age, maybe a year ago, he would have fit under that bracket of 25 and under.
Yeah.
So the recruitment for our team obviously might not even be good enough anyway, because I feel like there's a lot of 25 and unders, like the Elliot Andersons, like the Adam Whartons, that they could have easily gone out and tried to prize away from these mid-table clubs in the Premier League. They could have got that done, but they haven't. So, yeah, until this model is changed, I don't really care about any performance. And I haven't really cared about any performance for ages. So until the model changes...
You checked out.
I've checked out with the team. I don't like micro-analysing how we play on the weekend because I don't feel like we're where we're supposed to be. So I'm dejected, and I've been dejected it feels like for an eternity. And that's why I sympathise with United fans, because I feel like, how could I feel like I'm dejected 3 years in, and I feel like I'm tired of it already, let alone being 8-9 years in. Do you get it?
Trust me,
Jaden's just here smiling in the middle because he knows he's on the way to a title.
No, I'm not gonna get sick. This is Arsenal.
Marty ain't here with him today. You know what I mean? He's stay humble.
I don't guess. You
were a guest last week, weren't you?
No,
telling me Marino's in the top 85%.
Okay, what is the set changing next year if Arsenal win the league?
Oh,
is there
100%.
going to be like a Premier League trophy here as well?
It's only going to be Arsenal shirts in the back. Champions only.
Staying away from us. I need to get my new podcast.
Who did United play on the weekend? Sorry, I can't even remember who they played again.
Wolves,
I watched the game.
Wolves, and then we drew against Leeds.
Yes, the Leeds game.
Leeds.
Crappy.
I actually thought, to be fair, the Leeds game, considering the rivalry, it was an away game. Leeds have been on form. United haven't really been in form. I thought we were a better team. I thought we deserved the win. I think in the end, because the last 20, 30 minutes, Leeds were sort of pressing and pushing. And, I think the last 5, 10 minutes, it was pretty much all Leeds. But before that, I thought United had controlled the game. I thought we were a better team.
Bare draws again.
Yeah, we looked all right.
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. But yeah, Amorim, I think we're not surprised, really, are we? No one's surprised.
Did you see it coming?
Yeah.
Soon, straight after the Chelsea.
Well,
guys.
after the Leeds game, if you see his quotes after the Leeds, it was really strange.
His presser looked
post-match
like he was
presser,
really...
Did he want out, though, as well?
Yeah,
though?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Just the way that I was given this 18-month job, after this 18-month job,
they'll bring the next guy and
he's
I'll
basically
leave.
saying that.
Yeah.
He was very, you could tell when someone's on breaking point.
He was matter of fact, wasn't he?
So it was just,
Yeah,
they knew that he probably would have said something a bit off scale probably in the next press conference if it just kept going on top. So that's why he just got up after the question he answered, and that's what it was.
Yeah.
But he basically said, like, until they are willing to sack me, I'm here for 18 months. After that 8 months, I'm gone.
Oh, how do you feel about that? Because you was happy with Amorim there. You believed in his process.
I did. Like I said to you before, when you're not doing well, when nothing's going your way, you have to have something. You need to have something to hold on to. So for me, like Sean was saying earlier, if you're gonna, I think sacking him was the right decision. And let me finish what I mean by that. If they're not gonna sack him, they need to back him. But clearly they were not prepared to back him, because there was murmurs now that Jason Wilcox wanted him to start changing and tweaking the system. Okay, because they weren't happy with the 3-4-3 formation, or 3-4-3. But you knew what you were getting. Ruben Amorim had an interview with Liverpool 2 years ago when Klopp announced his retirement. Or he announced leaving Liverpool. They did not take him because they knew that he was wedded to his system, right?
When do you have to change your system?
No, you don't have to change your system, OJ.
No, if something's not working.
Yes.
How long do you do the same thing that's not working?
Okay, you're right.
In the same league, in the league, it's a
right.
different league.
You're right.
Yeah.
I agree with you. However, he made it very clear to them, I'm not changing my system. So if you don't want me, and he also said to them, I don't want to leave Sporting until the summer. And they said, no, it's now or never. And in his own words, the only job he would have left Sporting for was Man United, he said, at that point of the season. So he came in, this is what I want to do, cool. That's not his fault. If I turn around and say to you, right, if you say to me, Frank, I'll do it on this condition, I say, yeah, cool. And then afterwards, I'll change the condition, you're not going to be happy. Simple as that. So that's what's happened. And like I said, it's not, I understand where Jason Wilcock's coming from, where Omar Barada's coming from, where all these guys, I get it, I do. Because like you said, it's not working. It's clear. Yeah. But at the same time, that's what you hired. So that's why I'm saying then it was the right decision to sack him, because what you don't want to do is back the manager again, go and get another player, maybe 2 or whatever in January, and then all of a sudden it still carries on the way it is. It's not getting any better, and then you go into the next season, and then summer you're starting all over again. You're better off going with an interim now, taking your time, vetting managers from now for the summer to try and get someone in, before the start, so you know what you're planning to do. And this is what we've been lacking, planning. We've not planned. To me, at the moment, it doesn't look like they've got a plan. That's why they're bringing in an interim and then potentially another interim after that, because Fletcher's taken over for a couple of games, Darren Fletcher. And then you've got potentially Michael Carrick or, I don't know, whoever's going to come in. We'll see. But they, like Sean said, I feel like they needed to act because he was about to say something wild in the presser. He was about to throw someone under the bus.
You look like it. Do you know what it is, yeah? It's Maresca achieved as much as he could have achieved for what he was given. Is the same circumstance, I feel like, what we've got up to now where Man United was with Ten Hag. Because when I talk to some of my Man United friends and they're like, Ten Hag had this team way better than what this team is equipped for now. We looked better back then. We won more things back then.
First season, yeah.
Yeah, so he's like, he was like basically saying it as well. Like, this is what I'm trying to say to you. The model and the recruitment and the way that the club is run, it was never ever going to do anything better than probably what Ten Hag done anyway. Same way what we feel about with Maresca. What more could you have asked him?
Nothing's going to really change.
Yeah, what more could you have asked for him? And then yet you still sacked him. So like, same way that where Ten Hag got sacked, you've now just gone down an even further deep hole where you've got managers that haven't even are not up to the level of Ten Hag. So where do you go from here? Like, it's like the real actual gutting of inside Man United has to happen in terms of what is
horrible.
Yeah, of what is going to be able to turn them around.
And then you're in a position now, you're going to have to find, when you do find a manager, he's going to want a certain type of player. So it's like you're just starting all over again.
To be fair, one thing I'll give Inos credit for is the players that they've bought can play in 2-3 different systems. Dorgu can play right wing, left back, right back. He can play those positions.
If the manager doesn't like you, the manager don't like you.
Would you? No. That's a different argument. But they've not bought players solely for a 3 at the back. They've not bought. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And Mbuma can play as a wide man. He can play as a front man. He can play as an inside forward. Same with Cunha. Very, very similar in that sense. So they've bought players that are a bit more versatile. Xerxes got a lot of stick from Man United fans and from rival fans, and some of it is fair enough. But Xerxes was signed for Ten Hag, and then Ten Hag left a couple of months later, 3 months later. So, which goes back to your point.
But
I agree with that.
A manager might come in and think, I don't want him, Bruno. Bruno can't do what I want my right winger to do.
Yeah.
Cunha doesn't, I don't want my left side.
But Xerxes was signed when Inos were first coming in, so that it was kind of like a different time, whatever. So that was like the last signing we made when things were up in the air. But now, like even Mazraoui, we bought Mazraoui. He can play as a centre back, he can play as a full back, left back, right back.
How many were under Amorim? What Amorim wanted?
Cunha and Mbeumo definitely. From what I've heard today, he wanted Ollie Watkins because he wanted an experienced Premier League striker.
I'm talking about for what's in your team.
It's hard to say because that was for Ugarte was a 10. Ten Hag didn't want Ugarte. The board signed him.
Yeah.
But Ugarte was an ex-Amorim player. But Amorim has not been happy with Ugarte, which I've mentioned on here before. And he said, "You're not the same player that I remember." If that makes sense. You're not the same player at Sporting.
I'm just saying about what
he's not had a lot. He's not had a lot. I mean, if anything, he's got rid of a lot of players. Garnacho, Rashford, Højlund. Højlund wasn't signed. That was signed for Ten Hag. Again, Ten Hag was promised Harry Kane. And then they went and got Rasmus Højlund. So this is another thing. I think this is why I do have a bit of sympathy for Amorim. And this is why I'm not happy that he's been sacked, because I do feel for him a little bit, because he was promised things as well, given certain assurances which have not been fulfilled. And with that, like you're saying yourself, if you're not going to back your manager properly, then I feel like the boards are getting too involved now. That's what I feel in
I
football.
feel like you've got to kind of show progress to get backed as well. You got to be showing.
All right, so
you
let me
got to be
ask you a
showing
question.
your board something for them to believe in. Like you can't be saying, "Back me, back me, back me," but what you're showing us you're doing ain't working. What we backing? I'm not going to spend money on this number 10 or this right wing or whatever. And what you're doing now is not working.
United definitely underachieved under Amorim in terms of what he
The
was
Europa
capable
League
of
final,
doing.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, but even the league, you finished 15th.
Yes, I agree. But that was because we went all in for the Europa League because we had certain players injured and
but
we
all
wanted to.
throughout the year, though.
But hold on, right. At the start of the season, where did you predict United to finish?
I thought they'd be
10th, 9th, 8th?
not 10th.
Most people said that. Most people said between 8th and 12th. Most people.
Even if you said 10th, 15th.
No,
10th
that
is
was
still
last
massive.
season. I'm talking about this season. You said United finished top 5, let's say.
What's that?
Oh, what, for
Right?
this year?
Yeah, this season.
Oh,
Where
for
did
this
you
year?
put-
Maybe like 6th or 7th or something
Right,
like that.
we're
yeah.
6th at the moment, so we're not doing terribly.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
we're
yeah.
only 3-4 points off 14th, but we're also 3 points off 3rd.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So we're not in a terrible position. We're not that much worse than Chelsea. We're not that much worse than Liverpool. And we're better than a lot of Newcastle below us. Yes, the only really consistent teams that have been this season to a degree, obviously Arsenal another level, but then Villa and City. That's it.
For what it is, it wasn't warranting him to get sacked now, even though it was like for what it was last season, it was worse, considerably worse last season. So for him to get sacked at this stage,
It's strange.
just shows you about where the ownership see Amorim as.
Yeah.
They see him as he's not good enough, and they
They haven't
think
even
that
had that bad results either, really.
it's not that bad.
I think it's like 2 defeats in like 11, 12 games, something like that.
Draws.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Drawing,
draws.
Yeah,
You
there's been a
get
bit of
spanked.
there are like worrying game. Like, don't get me wrong, people watch the games and it's like even my Man United friends are saying to me, back Leeds and running. They're saying to me back Leeds to score next goal because they're scoring.
Yeah.
Because the game isn't going in the way that it looks like it.
Yeah, but I'll be. Do you know what, Sean? I don't agree with that. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
No, maybe not that game in specific.
Okay, right. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I was gonna say,
but
yeah.
in terms of like a lot of games that
Yeah,
happen,
yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
we don't.
You can
look
see it
under
coming.
Control.
Yeah.
And we don't. We're not in control. I think that's what it more is of a sense of. Is that
Okay, I get that,
United
yeah.
don't look in control of games.
You know what? I think
For the team, they should be as well.
In majority of games.
I
I'm
think
saying,
the
not
biggest
all games.
frustration for Amorim would have been what ifs, and what I mean by, and I know a lot of managers can say that. I get it, but Arteta hasn't won at Anfield yet. Arteta's not won at the Etihad yet. He's done it both in the space of like 6 months or something. Do you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, Liverpool aren't the Liverpool of the season, but City was still strong last season. We went there and won. So he pulled out some good results out the bag. He knocked Arsenal out the
But
FA
it's the
Cup
bad
last
ones that
season.
make you look
Yes,
really
I
bad.
agree. And this is what I'm saying about what ifs, because a lot of these, like you're saying, they're draws. They're what ifs. They're moments where we should have got a result. We couldn't score goals. We conceded silly goals.
But it's like if I was drawing to Wolves, like you got to remember some teams are in that.
And losing at home
circumstance
to
of-
Everton of 10 men.
Yeah, but like I'm just like they're teams that are getting whacked by other teams.
Yeah.
It's like if a team comes to like Brentford whacked Bournemouth, and I'm like Bournemouth come to Stamford Bridge and get a result. Like it's you can't get whacked by someone the week before from
Sunderland as well at the Bridge, No, I get that, but again, like I said to you, Sean, do you know what? Normally I'd agree completely with you, but this season's a bit crazy like that. It's been like that. Like I said, the only teams that aren't dropping silly, stupid points are Arsenal, City, and even City at the beginning of the season. Like they had some shockers, but Arsenal and Arsenal been brilliant. So let's take Arsenal out of the equation. But City and Villa are the only two teams that are picking up good results.
Today,
Hey?
You're giving us a lot of praise.
No, but you
man.
deserve it because you're top of the league. You're 6 points clear, and rightly so. But what I'm trying to say is the league has been like that. There's about 6 points separating 4th and like 15th or something ridiculous like that. So that just shows you put together a run of 2 or 3 wins, and all of a sudden you're in the top 4. So, like I said, I think the reason why they've sacked him now, like Sean hit the nail on the head. I think he was about to say something crazy, and I feel like him and Jason Wilcox have had a very good relationship, but I think that's become strained. Jason Wilcox wanted him to stop this is what I'm hearing, by the way. Jason Wilcox wanted him to slightly change certain things. He wasn't willing to do that. Then they clearly said they were not going to back you in January because if you remember, Man United were all in for Semenyo. He chose Man City. So if you got 65 million for Semenyo, you should have half that or 2/3 of that, if not all of it, for another player. But these are saying, well, we wanted that player specifically. If there's not another player like him, especially not in this league, we don't want to gamble again for someone else. Whereas Amorim's probably thinking, well, I need a player. So this is and this is where the tension starts. So this is.
It's very funny as well how it's like that. Just reminded me of the fact that it's very funny how Maresca's has left because Maresca hasn't been sacked.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, he's not been sacked.
And he had a severance pay that he could have easily asked for
14 mil or something.
a lot of money. So for me, I just see it as for me, that looked a bit like it's conspiracy theory is all you want if you want to think of it as conspiracy theory. But it's very funny that he's left without saying anything about the club or exposing anything about why he's left. Because I just feel like he's been given a backhander. I feel like he's been given a backhander. Don't comment on the things that...
Similar to Poch, maybe? Was Poch similar?
Yeah, pretty much similar to Poch. Don't expose what we've done as a club and what we're running as a model for why you've chosen personally to leave the club. I think he's just signed an NDA where he can't say why he's left the club and been given his severance pay on a backhand. No, but that's my theory.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, but that's my theory because I just see it as why would you leave £14 million out there?
Yeah, that's a lot of money,
if you're not going to
man.
get that money elsewhere. Like it's not like as if you're going to get rehired and given that money, unless he's given out a job till the end of the season. Or at the end of the season, he's been given a job, and it's the same money for what he would have been earning from Chelsea. Yeah. But he could get that money from Chelsea,
Would you take
and then
Maresca
still
at
take
Man
another
United?
job.
Do you know what? I think Sean's better qualified to answer that question because I've not. Yeah.
He's an all right coach, isn't it? But he's got a plan A. I don't think he's got a plan B. I think he's very stubborn in his ways of what he thinks he can start off the game with. Adapts a bit too late in games, and. Just, like I said, the plan B stuff, I need to see a bit more of a variety of how we play. I don't think he's a Man United manager, so...
But that's how we feel about Arteta, though. He don't really... His in-game play is
do you
terrible.
know what?
Your plan A was good enough.
Our plan A is sometimes.
Most
but
times,
we don't have a plan B more time.
But
Now we've built...
Set pieces.
When we're in a pickle...
That is the plan A, innit?
That's our plan A. We got bare plan A's. We ain't got really...
Do you know what? Do you know how many times I've
So
seen
you got
Arsenal
bare plan A's, yeah?
We got bare loads of plan A's. We ain't really
That's
got a plan
great.
B.
Plan A's
Listen,
are
I've seen
great.
these lot
I
play
wish
so
I had
many
plan
times,
A's.
where nothing's going their way. They can't break a team down, and all of a sudden I see Martinelli, Trossard, or Saka just go down and win, get a corner, and think, right, we're gonna score now.
There's a video of it. It's like when Arsenal get a corner, Arteta's like this. And he's just dancing all happy and that.
I wish we had plan A's, but I think Man United need to...
No,
go
no,
down.
it's not.
There ain't many players. There ain't many managers out there. But it's just pulling the managers away from... Because like I said, it's like just the way how players are. For me, I feel like the pool of players, the pool of managers are very similar and very aligned with each other in the fact that I don't think there's many even available out there, let alone who's at the top. Like Klopp, Jurgen Klopp doesn't have a job. But back in the days when Steven Gerrard, we tried to get Steven Gerrard. He was getting death threats to want to join Chelsea, but he was up for joining Chelsea.
Serious, yeah.
I think personally he was up for joining Chelsea, allegedly. But for me, it's like you went, but we went to Man United when we were like, just like I said, we were no ones. We went and got Peter Kenyon. It was a big gamble for Peter Kenyon to have to come to Stamford Bridge and bring the John Obi Mikel's and these Damien Duffs and all these kind of guys to come to Stamford
Screwed
Bridge.
up our Ronaldinho deal with just before he left, and then he tried to get him for you lot as well, didn't he? Yeah.
Got Ian Robbins, Ronaldinho. We tried to go out there and buy the club's best players in the best teams. So it's not to say that it couldn't happen because we still went out there and tried to get them. You should be able to try to get managers regardless if it goes against ethics. You would have never thought Rafa da Gaffer would have come to Chelsea. It might not be the greatest of managers,
so what you're
but
saying is United should still go for Jurgen Klopp.
go for the Jurgen Klopps, test it out, and then put out the money on the table. But I'm just saying
That's what you need, though.
Yeah,
but no, it's not gonna happen, man.
Yeah,
no
but
chance.
this is what I'm trying to say. But I feel like unless you go out there and try, with the pool that's available at the moment, I'd rather go and try to go and acquire a big manager.
Where's Zidane
Then
there?
you get it.
France?
He'll go France. I would like to see us get an interim for the next 6-7 months or
So
5-6
you got a bit of
months.
stability.
Right.
Because who are you going to have? Glasner?
I don't want Glasner. Sorry,
Like, so that's what I'm saying.
he's
So
not the right
Glasner's,
manager.
Nagelsmann's, Flicks.
Who do you want?
Like these are the managers. Mancini. Do you want to go try and grab Mancini
no.
and stuff like that? Like
personally, I would.
Who are the managers? Pellegrini's and these guys. Poch's and.
Poch is available, so isn't it?
Yeah, but like
Poch is
an underrated manager.
I think Poch would be a good shout.
Listen, Mauricio Pochettino is an underrated manager. I think if you give that guy a bit of time, because you saw what he done of Chelsea. He started off, it was shaky, but then he improved your team, and you looked.
At the
You know
end
what I
of
mean? He had a
the season, when he did
resurgence.
leave,
Yeah, the last
I was
10
shocked.
games.
I said, why didn't they let him go?
Yeah.
But I'm just
It
saying,
was just clicking.
even the fact that like Thomas Tuchel, managers can manage club and country.
That's what I was going to say.
So if you want to take managers and say, right, you can get managers to run the country's team and the club. Like it's not that deep. Like for me, I just like with the managers that are out there, ain't many. So you can't, otherwise you're gonna be up with these. Like when we signed Maresca, it was McKenna. Like it's either McKenna or Maresca.
But I like Kieran McKenna. He's a good young manager.
I know, but it's like you're gonna have to gamble with these
Yeah,
young managers.
yeah.
It's a gamble.
Otherwise, if you want the premiums, there ain't many premiums.
No, there aren't.
We
I
gambled
agree
with
with that.
Arteta.
Yeah.
When you look at it,
But that's
first
what
job. It's a gamble.
that's what I'm trying to say to you about similarities with players. Like like if I want someone guaranteed, I can't go to Barca and ask for Pedri. Like Pedri's probably gonna stay there. Like he's their star player. There ain't many talents in that team other than him and Yamal. Like how am I supposed to go to Barcelona to get Yamal? You have to end up going to these feeder clubs to the bigger sides, like to get these Desiree Doués early before they go to PSG and do something.
Yeah, you're right.
Or go to Kravitz, go to Napoli, who's not a big club.
Yeah. Before he goes to
Kravitz,
PSG, a bit like us should have gone and got João Neves from Benfica before we went to PSG.
These are the kind of clubs you have to go to get them players.
To answer your question,
Who do you want? Yeah.
I'm happy with. I think Darren Fletcher as an interim. I don't know if he's because he's the under 18s manager. I think he'll go back to the under 18s. I'd like to see Michael Carrick come in temporarily because I think he knows the club. He's coached under Jose Mourinho. He's coached under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as his assistant as well. So he knows what the Premier League is. He knows the Premier League. And then see how he gets on until the end of the season because I think he managed us for 3 games as an interim. He done really, really well. He done better than okay, to be fair. And then see what Thomas Tuchel does for England in the summer because I feel like Thomas Tuchel he's on a short-term contract, isn't he? His contract's only until the summer. So if England win the World Cup, he's going to want to leave on a high. 100%. If England don't win the World Cup, there's probably going to be people saying, "Oh, he's failed, get him out." Do you know what I mean? So he might be available now. United, I know for a fact, United went for him before they got Amorim, but he wasn't willing to take the job then for personal reasons, whatever reasons. He turned the job offer down. I think if United go back in for him again after the England situation, he might be more interested. So that's why
you can tell that he's a manager that wants to be active.
Yeah,
he's not old,
and he is an elite manager.
Sit back. That's why I didn't understand when Mancini went to go manage Italy. Like I'm like, what? Why would you go to manage the country and it's like you're gonna play 5 games a year? Like, it's dead. These managers look hungry, so I'd expect Thomas Tuchel to want to be in a club job pretty soon.
The only sort of issue that we'll probably have with Thomas Tuchel, he's another one that will go against the board. Do you know what I mean? He's a very, very strong personality.
But I don't think you're far off with being able to be aligned with a manager as long as they come in with the right idea. And I think
I agree
Man United's at that stage where they have to actually start looking at.
Be
more
interesting
of the
to
managers.
see who they who you guys bring in. I want Poch. I think I wanted Poch for a long time.
For Arsenal.
For you lot.
For United.
Yeah, you would
Arsenal.
What you want United to do better? So you think Poch is a good manager?
Do you know what is United? I like seeing them do well.
Yeah.
As mad as that sounds, it's
you
not
like it
nice.
to be competitive, you mean?
Yeah, man, it's not nice just going there and it's just like, it's just like Man United.
It's like this league title. You're gonna really be happy with it? Like,
yeah, I agree, man.
Champions League. I don't really want the league. Champions
League. What do you mean you don't want the league? You ain't won it since
I want the Champions League over the Prem. I'm telling you, that's what I need. So, all right, Fulham, Chelsea. We'll jump into you lot.
Big rivalry that. Fulham Ultras coming to town.
I'm going to the game, so I'm going to be up there.
Yeah, Fulham got a good result.
Cheering on Fulham, Arsenal B team. Being there. It's my boy.
They snatched a nice late equaliser.
Oh, what a goal,
Liverpool.
Harrison Reed. What a goal.
Baller. Do you know who's balling in Fulham? Wilson.
Yeah, Harry Wilson.
Harry Wilson, yeah.
Harry Wilson's doing well, but they're actually coping well with the fact that Chukwueze and Iwobi's not there, and and Calvin Bassey all playing for Nigeria. So like they've done well to actually to deal with the African Cup of Nations. Same thing with Sunderland. So Fulham away game, London derby. Like I said, like we could turn up against Man Cities and these Liverpools and Man Cities and stuff and Arsenal's. We can get a point off these teams, but then when we go and play these kind of teams away from home, it's like chalk and cheese. So. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to expect with Chelsea at the moment. It's weird.
Who do you want to see step up in this game? Who do you think needs to show themselves?
Cole Palmer definitely has to start performing now that he's back fit and he's getting given 90 minutes, 100%. Like he was underwhelming on the weekend. Yeah. But like I said, I don't really want to get onto the players at the moment, but because people will start turning their attentions to Cole Palmer soon. It's just how narratives are. People will start looking at Cole Palmer and say, why isn't he stepping up for the club?
He's overrated.
Why is he not performing like he used to the past 2 years? The club's not good. Don't criticise your best player because Cole Palmer is not true Chelsea. He will cut. So leave Cole Palmer to do what he's doing. He's a top talent. Hopefully he finds his form back with us and hopefully he can have a kickstart anyway against Fulham. So I don't know, but I don't want us to win.
That sounds mental.
Surely, man.
I know, but I'm sorry. But like I always used to say, I'm not too long ago. I used to say, I don't understand how anybody could ever want their team to not win a game. But the only way my club will change is if my team fails.
Oh my god!
Short-term pain, long-term
I know what
gain.
you're saying. Yeah, you need that.
Yeah.
Go down.
If we
to
win,
progress again.
All right, I want to win every week. I don't want to win 50% of the time. I don't want to finish fourth. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know.
It's either one way or the other. You know, it's in the
it's
middle.
either one with the other, man.
All right, give me a result.
Hard grafted 2-1.
Fulham.
Nah, Chelsea. As much as I don't want to see it, but yeah, hard grafted 2-1 win.
Frankie boy.
1-1. 1-1.
1-1.
Good game. I think it'll be a good
I'm going
game.
2-1 Fulham.
Yeah, you might as well. Because at least someone's going to get a result.
Wilson and Jimenez.
Trust me to be on the fence, innit?
Man City, Brighton.
2-1 Man City.
Is it at Brighton?
Man City.
3-1 City.
2-1.
Do you know what? They're going to concede. It might even be 3-2, you know, because these
Yeah, I
defenders that
agree.
are out
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Diaz
Even if City are like 2-0 up, Brighton will still. They don't give
Brighton
up.
are Brighton are
They're
getting
headache.
goals.
They're going to have to strap up Ake with his knee brace, boy, because they
Send
got
him back
everyone
out.
out. Cavadio's gone, Diaz gone.
I'm glad you said knee brace, mate.
Burnley, Man United.
1-0 Man United. No. Sorry, 2-1 Man United. We will concede. We always concede. 2-1 Man United.
I'll go with a 2-0 Man United victory.
I was going to say that.
2-0.
Yeah, I reckon you got to get that new manager
big
back.
Darren
don't-
Fletcher.
Burnley like very tight games, but then I feel like Man United will break them down somehow. So I don't know. I think maybe 2.
Bruno Fernandes is back. To be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah.
Bruno. Man U. Newcastle, Leeds.
Oh, that should be a good game. I'm gonna go 2-1. No, 3-1 Newcastle. I'll go 3-1 Newcastle.
I'll go again with another. I'd go with a 2-1 Newcastle win at home. I think Newcastle's starting to find their way of winning games now, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 2.
They're looking better.
They've
Yeah,
got
good
the
at
midfield.
home.
They've got the
Newcastle
midfield
good
three
at
back
home,
together
though,
as well. Yeah, they've got the midfield three back together.
I'm going to go 3-1 Newcastle. I'm going to go 3-1. And then the big game, not championship, but you know what I mean. Future champs. Arsenal, Liverpool at the Emirates. Thursday, 8 p.m. kickoff.
I'm going 2-0 Arsenal.
I'm going. I'm gonna agree. I'll say 2-0 Arsenal.
2-0, is that it?
Yeah.
I'm going 3-1 Arsenal.
I think you'll be very conservative and controlling of the game, but I don't feel
We're
like
going to beat them up.
you will beat them up. I think the game will look more dominant than a 2-0 win.
No,
but
I
feel like
think
you'll win 2-0.
Liverpool will. Yeah, no, I think Liverpool will turn up. I
Turn
think
up,
they is Ekitike fit or is he injured still?
That's the question.
If his hamstring's out,
you're normally
yeah,
3-4
he's out.
weeks.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's hamstring.
Yeah, then see, I don't think Liverpool have got a goal in them really. Maybe like
Cody
a set
Gakpo up
piece or
front
something.
against Gabriel and
You see the
Saliba,
chance
man.
he missed the other day. Yeah.
I just think
So-
Fleury and Wirtz and that are going to be able to be clamped down by this
Yeah,
midfield.
yeah,
well. So
yeah.
it's going to be dominant, but I think maybe a 2-0 comfortable.
I reckon 3-1. And we're doing that whole.
You think you're going to concede?
Yeah, we're a bit.
2-0.
Kepiah left back. It's a bit shaky. But yeah, that's it. That's the episode, guys. Hope you lot enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, comment. And yeah.
Keep continuing to comment because the reels and Instagram and the TikToks, I'm abusing a lot of you lot. Yeah? You lot come for
Pause.
me. Pause, yeah. But yeah, you come for me, I'll come for you. Pause.
I'm not gonna say that name. Starts with a D, ends with a Y. But yeah, that was the episode, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. See you later. I ain't got my button, man.
Peace.